The fourth and last item of business is the shareholder proposal submitted by the National Center for Public Policy Research regarding equal employment opportunity policy risk reporting. We will now connect with Mr. Justin Danhof, a representative of the National Center for Public Policy Research, to hear his statement. Out of respect for the other shareholders in attendance and to allow ample time for Q&A, we ask you, Mr. Danhof, to please limit your comments to a period of 3 minutes. Mr. Danhof, you're now on the line.
Thanks so much. My name is Justin Danhof of the National Center for Public Policy Research, and I move Proposal 4, which seeks to increase diversity within the Starbucks community. Presently, Starbucks' Equal Employment Opportunity Policy states that, quote, all partners and applicants will be treated fairly without regard to race, color, religion, sex, national origin, age, physical or mental disability, sexual orientation, marital status, military or veteran status, gender identity and expression, genetic information, or any other factor protected by law. We filed our proposal and made a very simple request. We asked that you extend that policy to include protections against viewpoint discrimination. That's because all across corporate America, the political left is engaged in a fierce cancel culture that seeks to root out conservatives. As we note in our proposal, companies such as Facebook and Google routinely fire conservative employees when they speak their values. At the 2019 annual meeting of Apple shareholders, an audience member told company CEO Tim Cook about her close friend who works at Apple and lives in fear of retribution every single day because she happens to be a conservative. What she described was the textbook definition of a hostile work environment. Starbucks has also previously refused requests to increase the viewpoint diversity of its board of directors. This signals to employees that viewpoint discrimination is condoned, if not encouraged. And perhaps the leading cancel culture group, the Southern Poverty Law Center, has made veiled threats against any corporation that would hire former Trump administration officials. Former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz once even berated a shareholder for his belief in adherence to traditional marriage, a view held by billions of Christians, Jews, and Muslims worldwide. When I met with Starbucks executives regarding our proposal, I relayed concerns that many conservatives and religious-minded Americans have had with the company over the span of many years. I noted that in light of the company's radical left-wing stances on environment, immigration, and social justice issues, many conservatives avoid consuming Starbucks. Further, many conservative and religious Americans would never consider working for Starbucks. This means that the company's left-wing policy stances are limiting Starbucks' potential workforce. Our proposal offers Starbucks a means to alleviate that concern. By signaling to conservatives that the company makes employment decisions free from viewpoint biases, Starbucks would increase the number of Americans willing to both buy Starbucks products and consider working for the company. Unfortunately, my concerns and my offer to help the company improve its outreach to conservatives fell on deaf ears. So we are today calling on Starbucks investors to do what its leaders wouldn't do. We believe that diverse workforces can think more critically and deliver greater results for shareholders. That's a win for investors and a win for true diversity. Please join me in voting yes on Proposal 4. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Danhof. A diverse and inclusive environment is critical to Starbucks business. We seek diversity in its broadest sense in all aspects of our business. Embracing diversity encourages innovation and allows us to succeed and to grow. To encourage more meaningful conversations on the topic of diversity and inclusion, we worked with Arizona State University and developed the To Be Welcoming curriculum that is available to our partners and to the general public. To Be Welcoming illustrates how to work through potentially uncomfortable truths of human experience in a respectful and a thoughtful manner. This academic and research-based curriculum is intended to help people navigate ways to engage with difficult topics, including race, gender, religion, political culture, disabilities, sexuality, nationality, and age. Consistent with Starbucks' mission and values, we celebrate diversity and we're committed to creating an inclusive environment for our partners and for our customers. Given our ongoing efforts to support a welcoming environment at Starbucks, our board of directors believes a public report detailing the potential risks associated with omitting viewpoint and ideology diversity from our written employment opportunity policy is unnecessary and not beneficial to our shareholders. Accordingly, and respectfully, for the reasons stated in our proxy statement, the board recommends a vote against this proposal. That concludes the matters to be voted on as outlined in the notice of the annual meeting. In accordance with our bylaws, I hereby declare the polls for voting at our 2020 annual meeting closed. I've received the preliminary tabulation from Broadridge, and based on that tabulation, I'm pleased to report that all the director nominees were elected. Each of the management proposals was approved, and the shareholder proposal regarding EEO policy risk reporting was not approved.